The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is performing creditably in its role as a modulator in the economy of Africa's most populous nation. The global economic meltdown of recent years, coupled with the financial tragedies brought about by COVID-19, saw the CBN facing challenges never before imagined. Crude oil, Nigeria's major export earner, fell in the global market to such lows that at one point it sold below $0 per barrel. The pandemic also forced global investors to withdraw much of their funds from emerging economies like Nigeria. Diaspora remittances also fell sharply, and there were disruptions in global supply chains as countries held back supply of essential materials and prioritized local demand. Any one of these factors could affect an economy negatively, but the combination of all of them at once would almost guarantee a total meltdown. But like a giant in the sun, the CBN rose to these challenges with courage and innovation. The Apex Bank threw itself into many sectors of the Nigerian economy and unleashed an array of targeted intervention programs aimed at individuals, households, and businesses, strengthening the economy by encouraging production and massive job creation. To date, the CBN, working with deposit money banks and participating financial institutions, has granted over 3 trillion naira in intervention loans that have undoubtedly been one of the critical ingredients for Nigeria's economic recovery and employment generation. The Anchor Borrowers Program has disbursed 948 billion naira to 4,478,381 smallholder farmers who cultivated 5.2 million hectares of farmland across the country, thereby creating 12.5 million direct and indirect jobs. CBN's targeted credit facility, meant to help households and businesses that suffered significant losses during COVID-19, has disbursed 368.79 billion naira to 778,000 beneficiaries, comprising 648,052 households and about 130,000 SMEs. 1.452 trillion naira has gone to 337 large real sector projects in agriculture, manufacturing, services, and mining under CBN's Real Sector Support Facility. In healthcare, 122 major healthcare projects have been funded to the tune of 115.36 billion naira. These healthcare interventions went to 31 pharmaceutical and 91 hospital projects, supporting acquisition of 59 magnetic resonance imaging MRI scanners, 42 computer tomography ICT scanners, and 4 oncology screening machines. The AGS-MIS program, which caters for SMEs in agribusiness, released a total of 134.63 billion naira to 37,571 SME projects, of which 67% were directly in agriculture-related projects, 22.5% were in services, while the balance were in fashion, IT, and related subsectors. Under the Nigeria Electricity Stabilization Facility, NESF, a total of 229 billion naira has been disbursed to 9 discos to help cover their financial obligations to upstream market participants. These measures helped the country make the fastest recovery from recession ever recorded and changed the trajectory of inflation to an 8-month downward spiral. They also led to a significant improvement in diaspora inflow from an average of $6 million per week in December 2020 to an average of over $100 million per week by January 2022. The lessons learned from the CBN's policies on remittances are now being applied in improving aspects of FX inflow into the country to overcome the inadequacy of FX supply and constant pressure on the exchange rate. The CBN's major thrust in this aspect is the introduction of the RT200 FX program.
As regards the foreign exchange markets, for example, on the inadequacy of FX supply and constant pressure on the exchange rate, we believe that the lessons we have learned from our policies on remittances can be applied in improving some aspects of our FX inflow into the country. After a careful consideration of the available options and a wide consultation with the banking community, the CBN is effective immediately announcing the Bankers Committee's RT200 FX program, which stands for the Race to $200 billion in FX repatriation into Nigeria. The RT200 FX program is a set of policies, plans, and programs for non-oil exports that will enable us attain a lofty yet attainable goal of $200 billion in FX repatriation exclusively from non-oil exports over the next 3 to 5 years. And we are optimistic that this can be achieved. The RT200 program will have the following 5 key anchors. 1. Value-adding export facility. 2. Non-oil commodities expansion facility. 3. Non-oil FX rebate scheme. 4. Dedicated non-oil export terminal. And 5. Biannual non-oil export summit.
Value-adding export facility. The Value-adding export facility provides concessionary and long-term funding for business people who are interested in expanding existing plants or building brand new ones for the sole purpose of adding significant value to non-oil commodities before exporting same. For example, the global chocolate industry is valued at about $130 billion US. Of this amount, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Nigeria account for more than 72% of global cocoa exports. Yet, because Nigeria mainly exports raw cocoa beans, Côte d'Ivoire gets $3.6 billion US annually. Ghana generates $1.9 billion US annually, and Nigeria gets about $804 million US per year from an industry that is worth over $130 billion US. In contrast to West African countries, Belgium accounted for 11% of global chocolate exports in 2019 at a value of $3.16 billion US. Similarly, Germany's chocolate exports were worth $5.14 billion US in the same year. These numbers are the same for other commodities as well. Therefore, given these alarming disparities between exporters of raw commodities and exporters of semi-finished or finished products, the CBN believes that the value-adding export facility is a first step to getting back some of these foreign exchange that Nigeria rightly deserves. Currently, 125 export companies have benefited from the facility, with over 210 billion naira disbursed under the scheme. Non-oil commodities expansion facility. This facility will also be a concessionary facility designed to significantly boost local production of exportable commodities. The bank is currently working with the Sesame Seeds Association, Cocoa Farmers, Ginger Farmers Association, and firms that are into backward integration from primary production to value additions. The facility is designed to ensure that expanded and new factories that are financed by the value-adding facility are not starved of inputs of raw commodities in their production cycle. A massive boost in the production of such commodities will also help moderate the prices of these commodities so that the expected increase in demand for them does not become a pressure point for aggregate prices in the market. Non-oil FX rebate scheme. The non-oil FX rebate scheme is a special local currency rebate scheme for non-oil exporters of semi-finished and finished produce who show verifiable evidence of exports proceeds repatriation sold directly into the I&E window to boost liquidity in the market. Similar to the Naira for Dollar scheme, which has helped boost remittances from only $6 million per week to over $100 million per week, the scheme has commenced, and some of the export firms that qualify have been paid under the scheme. Dedicated non-oil export terminal. In recognition of the perennial problems of port congestion, cited by exporters as a major impediment to improved operations and foreign exchange earnings, the CBN designed a third anchor of the RT200 program, which is the establishment of a dedicated non-oil export terminal.
In recognition of the perennial problems of port congestion cited by the exporters as a major impediment to improved operations and foreign exchange earnings, we have designed a third anchor of the RT200 program, which is the construction and establishment of a dedicated non-oil export terminal. According to the African Center for Supply Chain Practitioners, Nigeria loses about $14.2 billion annually due to congestion at our ports. Paraphrasing from an article by the Financial Times in December 2020, the congestion has become so bad that while it costs $3,500 to ship a 40-feet container from China to Lagos, which is a distance of 22,000 kilometers, it costs $4,000 to move the same container from the port to mainland Lagos, a distance of only 12 kilometers. During our stakeholder engagements with the various segments of exporters, we heard several heartbreaking accounts of how containers spend several months in the ports just waiting to be shipped, resulting in loss of perishable goods or well-established foreign customers.
This dedicated port will be capable of creating over 100,000 direct and indirect jobs and would provide a huge boost to the quest for significant improvement in non-oil export earnings in Nigeria. Today's summit, the first biannual non-oil export summit, forms the fifth key anchor for the RT200 FX program. It is a gathering of stakeholders and practitioners in the sector to address complaints and challenges and articulate solutions for solving problems. It is a forum to harness ideas to help the Central Bank of Nigeria reach the ultimate goal of $200 billion in non-oil exports in 5 years, a target which the CBN governor believes is attainable.
I'm mindful that this goal itself may appear unattainable to some, but we are resolute and determined that we can achieve it. Many countries that are much less endowed than Nigeria are doing the same. Let me note very importantly that the RT200 program is not intended to be a silver bullet to all our problems in the export segment of the economy. Rather, it is a first step meant to ensure that the CBN is better able to carry out its mandate in an effective and efficient manner, which guarantees preservation of our scarce commonwealth and the stability of our national currency, the Naira. It is only by boosting productive and earnings capacity of this economy that we can truly preserve the long-term value of our currency, the Naira, as well as the stability of our exchange rate.